Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed those lovely duct tapes from times gone by. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've had ice and chrome in the map pool. Good times, Papi. Good times. But we are here in the grand finals in a fresh new best of 5. We have an update did occur off this stream. It was casted by, I believe, Pig and Steadfast. They were covering MaxPax versus Bjorn, and MaxPax took the series 2-1. The grand finals will be a PvP. Oh boy. As it should be in the ESL weeklies. It's been a while. It's been a while. For those wondering, back when Zest was more active, the PvP finals were a lot more common as Zest was dominant here in the weekly tournaments. In his absence, you know, we've kind of led to a rise in other players, but here we go. We have our grand finals, our best of 5, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Babylon, we have our South Korean Protoss player representing Team Abydos. It is NightMare. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Babylon, we have his opponents. We have the Danish Protoss player. Shout out to our European, because not too many of them stay awake to play in these more offbeat events. You know, this is not a good time for the land of Europe, but it is a good time for this player representing Psystorm Gaming from Denmark. It is MaxPax. You love to see it, Papi. You love to see it. Yeah, very few players, you know, MaxPax, sometimes here Marine, sometimes Clem. They do stay up into the dark hours of the night in Europe to play in these tournaments. And yeah, it's always a treat whenever we do see them. You know, we very rarely get to see the Europeans going up against the Koreans, but it's always amazing when it does happen. And MaxPax is looking to take it all here. He's coming in. He just took down Bjorn 2-1. And now he's here as the favorite. Meanwhile, we have a dark horse. We have an underdog. NightMare hopping off tonight, taking down Solar 2-1, and also bringing down Creator in the semifinals as well. 2-0. NightMare has been on fire and has been looking damn good in WTL. You know, he's been looking really good in these other online events. Can he translate that into a win? Like, it's already really impressive that he's made it to the finals, but can he become the champion? I mean, it's a PvP. Anything can happen, man. Anything can happen. As we do see both players going for Gate Expands. NightMare actually throwing down his Expand. It wasn't delayed too much. Meanwhile, MaxPax, because of this pesky probe, is forced to delay his expansion and go Stargate first. This is, of course, going to be spotted by NightMare, so he's fully aware of the potential for these oracles, and he should be getting ready back at home. Meanwhile, MaxPax is not stopping. He throws down a proxy shield, proxy pylon finishing up. He's throwing down shield batteries as well. He's causing as much havoc as possible. Oh my god. The Zealots are showing up. The boys have to be pulled here. Things are getting out of hand. But the drone drilling, we're going to be getting a surround on one of the Zealots where we have an Adept to support as well. The shield battery will finish, and this will keep the Adept alive. Oh my god. And now with the power of this Adept, with the power of the shield batteries, this is going to keep these gateway units tied up here in the natural base. At the same time, we do have a shield battery in the main, so the Oracle shouldn't find too much damage here at least. But things are getting really messy, to say the least. The Adept shading from the main down towards the natural again to the safety of all these shield batteries is going to be causing no mining whatsoever at the natural base. A second Adept is showing up, and this is too much. Did we even make an Oracle? Here we did. It's zooming across the map as we speak. And with 2 Adepts, we can one-shot workers. Eventually, NightMare is going to be able to stabilize, and he does have a faster Nexus. How much more damage is he going to really sustain? There we go. The Oracle dives in as well, picking off these weakened probes. Oh, and here at the natural. Oh my god, nothing is dying. Nothing, it all refuses to die. Finally, here we go. The pylon is going to be focused down. The Oracle in the main base has been dealt with. The Adept shades in once again to pick off more of these probes. And even though NightMare has a double probe production, he has lost far too much, even forced to overcharge. 7 probes in total. And MaxPax is finally going to get his natural up and running, can finally saturate it as well. things are looking to slow down, and MaxPax is even anticipating like an all-in reaction out of NightMare. We have a defensive Void Ray back at home to make sure we are safe and sound. And what can NightMare do from here? I mean, he's only got 2 gateways. He has a Twilight Council, not a Robo as a follow-up, so he can't reinforce across the map. He can't move out with a Prism. He's gonna have to just slowly catch back up. So a great way to get an economic lead here from MaxPax, again, despite the fact that his Nexus was delayed. Like, all these shield batteries really just did cause so much havoc. It's very Hero-esque. Like, Hero does this thing a lot as well. It's disgusting. No. And behind this, MaxPax can just comfortably saturate his natural. He's working on 2 more gateways, 3 in total. He has Blink on the way, and just keep the aggression going. He throws down a Dark Shrine. The difference here is, if you recall, we saw a very similar approach by Estrella earlier in the day, but Estrella was playing from behind. He was going Dark Shrine to catch back up. Here, MaxPax is ahead and still going DTs anyway. And this is going to work so well because for the time being, NightMare has no detection. There's no Robo, there's no Stargate, there's no Forge, there's no way at all to deal with DTs. And he's purposefully cutting corners. Like, he knows he's behind, so he has to go for a faster 3rd Nexus. He has to try and catch back up. Thankfully, he is still making a Robo, thankfully. So he will have access to an Observer. A couple Stalkers being caught out here towards the top right. Have a Proxy Pylon, and the DTs are seconds away from coming out. And yeah, the Dark Shrine is now done. Just waiting for some warp-ins to be available, and there we go. The first DT is being warped in. Thankfully, the Robo is finishing up just in time. With the help of the shield battery, we should be able to get an Observer out. There we go. Observer is on the way. Whew. Despite not scouting anything, we are just playing it out safely. DT will be able to waddle past, though, and damage will still be done, as we have a massive gateway explosion in the main. DT sneaks into the main base, and yeah, probes are going to be going down left and right. The boys are being pulled. We do have an Observer. The second DT is focused down. And as NightMare regains control of his main base, his army is pulled out of position. His natural is exposed, and MaxPax is looking to punish this 3rd base. I mean, sure, NightMare was able to rush it out. He's forced to recall. Honestly, a pretty good move. Racing back to the 3rd would not have worked out well for him. Does save his 3rd base. The DTs, they just don't stop. Same time, a stasis into the main as well. Like, NightMare is really struggling to keep up here with MaxPax. We saw him cutting corners earlier, trying to regain his economy, but he's still behind. He's still behind 13 probes. Ugh. Not like this, Papi, not like this. I mean, thankfully for NightMare, the DTs didn't really do too much. They killed a handful of probes, and they did expose the 3rd base a little bit, but NightMare was able to deal with the situation quite well. The investment into the Dark Shrine hasn't paid for itself yet, but emphasis on the yet. Like, DTs can always slip one in later on as the game goes on. Meanwhile, another stage trap into the main base. This time, NightMare is looking. So are we. Only a single probe stasis. But that worker lead is still just paying off so much for MaxPax. Is it going to be able to take up and build an insane army? NightMare is going to be able to move out now, and actually NightMare has been focusing a lot more on his warp-ins. He does have the higher army supply for the time being. He can take a fight. Here we go. He's going to charge in towards that 3rd base. We do have an overcharge to try to hold the line. We do blink on forward. We focus on the shield battery, and the Zelts are looking to break on through. Oh, it looks like MaxPax may be resting on his laurels a little bit. Doesn't have any shield batteries remaining. But he's going to be able to blink backwards here. He can afford to lose some probes. Yeah, the Blink army is still impressive for MaxPax. He's going to be losing a lot more at his at his third base, though. He can lose some probes. He can't lose all of them. As MaxPax will force this back, but at the cost of 15 probes. And sure, we dealt a lot of damage, but now we're a little bit vulnerable to a counterattack. Boy. That Oracle still somehow finding more damage. I'm afraid to look, but it's got 8 kills already. As we work up to 27 Stalkers. Ay, ay, ay. That's a lot of Stalkers, Papi. That's a lot of Stalkers. The Oracle still having its way with the mineral line. Oh my god. Barely escapes as well with 4 HP, 1 shot away from going down. Meanwhile, NightMare, I don't know if you noticed, but he hasn't been probing. He has not been saturating this third base. He is just working on one big push, essentially going all in here. One way or another, we're going to end the game. A very important scout here. The DT goes down, but he does confirm the location of the army. MaxPax can rotate over and meet up with it. He hasn't rebuilt the shield batteries. That's a little bit concerning. But MaxPax still has an overwhelming force of Stalkers. Actually doesn't need the shield battery as long as he's able to reinforce. He does have a lot of supply tied up towards the back. There we go. He's going to be able to push on forward here. MaxPax with the upgrade advantage is going to be able to shut down this army. NightMare desperate with this all in. Has to make it work. And that was like the ideal scenario, you know, MaxPax, he had his army split up, there's no shield batteries. But despite that, MaxPax still just has so much. Yeah, he's going to be able to push on forward. The blinks are too good. Again, the upgrade's still in his favor. NightMare does have the better concave on top of the ramp, to be fair. He's blinking his heart out. But again, NightMare is still losing a little bit more than his opponents. We get another warp in. We got Chargers to reinforce. We recalled the... Okay. I saw the recall. I was like, what? There was the DT across the map. We recalled the Observer. GG gets called, and MaxPax will take game number 1. After getting quite a hefty lead at the start of the game, it's quite difficult for NightMare to come back from that. Almost did. Almost did. GG. Again, it's not something you see too often when the first pylon across the map finishes and then you just throw down shield batteries to support your handful of gateway units. Yeah, it really worked out well here for MaxPax. The NightMare just was so caught off guard. Was trying to deal with it and eventually did, but yeah. It lost, I believe, 6 workers in the end. 6 workers. It delayed his mining... Sorry, not his mining time, but his probe production as well. Oh. It's kind of MaxPax's bread and butter in a way. Like, I say in a way because he is still known for going for, like, greedy economic openers in PvP. But, like, he lives and he thrives in the chaos, you know? As he makes things awkward for his opponent, like that's every game for him, you know? MaxPax, he's used to it. NightMare, not so much. Not so much. So we're going to be getting into game number 2, and interesting, I wonder what the vetoes were, because game 2 is going to be taking place on Altitude, the largest map in the map pool. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Altitude, we have our South Korean Protoss player, our contender, the dark horse here for the grand finals, representing Team Abydos. It's the red Protoss. It is NightMare. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Altitude, we have his opponents. We have the Danish Protoss player representing Psy Storm Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is MaxPax. Once again, another ramp map, so we should be seeing gate expands, but just because we have gate expand openers doesn't mean that things aren't going to get crazy. We saw that in the last game. I doubt we'll see that again, but you know, anything's possible. As they are setting up for their gate expands. Again, the reason for this, as to be expected, on maps like Altitude, we have ramps going into the natural, which means you can be a little bit greedier, you can be more economic going for a faster nexus. Just like the last map, just like Babylon. But I'm sure this time NightMare is going to be a little bit more vigilant in keeping an eye on this probe to make sure that things don't get out of hand like they did previously. MaxPax going straight for his nexus even before the cyber core. Doesn't want to deal with this pesky probe pylon blocking. And NightMare is going to make a choice. He does see the faster nexus. He knows. He can try and punish it, but on Altitude, it's going to be a hard punish. NightMare is going to be taking his gases, focusing on his Zealot as well to make sure that he's able to deal with the pylon that gets thrown down, if at all. And it looks like we may just throw down some tech here. There we go. We are chronoing out the first adept already. And there is that Stargate. So NightMare, it's his turn to be the aggressor. His turn to try and move out across the map. And I feel like this is what MaxPax wants. I was talking about this before, but MaxPax, he's known for his greedy openers here in PvP, and he wants to force a reaction. He wants his opponent to be aggressive. He's setting up with 2 shield batteries back at home. We have a Stargate on the way to get into that Void Ray as well. NightMare is going for a Nexus behind this, so not all in. Just getting across the map with his first Zealot, forcing a reaction at least. And interesting, NightMare, he's going to be playing around a little bit here. Despite the fact that he got his Stargate scouted, he's not going for an Oracle, he's going for a Phoenix instead. We could end up in Phoenix Wars. I'm curious because, yep, MaxPax, he's going for his own. So MaxPax, it makes sense for him because he saw the Stargate, so he's anticipating an Oracle. But I guess NightMare is anticipating that his opponent is going to be reacting that way, and yeah, we don't get this too often. Phoenix versus Phoenix. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. The stars have aligned. Here we go. The Phoenixes are going to be scattered here. NightMare's doubling down. He throws down a second Stargate for double Phoenix production. Oh boy. For those wondering, this used to be a lot more common in the meta. This used to be like the meta years ago now. Even back in Heart of the Swarm, Phoenix versus Phoenix was so much more common. There's the second Stargate for MaxPax. So NightMare has a bit of a lead here. He does have a bit of a faster transition, a faster Stargate. He's going to be having a overall Phoenix lead. MaxPax is going to have to try to catch up here. Maybe having to take a more defensive role, fighting or staying at home to fight with shield batteries instead. He may opt to go for a faster fleet beacon for range. As yeah, we're just going to be backing up with more Phoenixes. And yeah, that's the game that we're going to be seeing here. I'm excited to see it again after a long time, but it is going to be a bit of a slower game. Again, just because MaxPax is aware that he should be aware that he's gonna have less Phoenixes, and in a mirror matchup that's devastating, so we want to be a little bit more defensive with them. NightMare can be a little bit more assertive. He can be out on the map, he can be looking to punish the third base, and NightMare should also be free to be the first player to expand. That's for the time being. We're staying on 2 bases. There is that fleet beacon. Interestingly enough, NightMare isn't like capitalizing on his overall Phoenix lead, and he isn't going for the faster fleet beacon. So this is going to be pretty important for MaxPax. Phoenix range changes everything. Like, Phoenix's, if they do outrange your opponent, then there's a world where they're not going to lose a single one. See where the third base is going to be denied. For those wondering, you do need the Phoenix 4 Anion Pulse Crystals, which is an upgrade that does increase the range of Phoenixes. Oh, and already here we go, looking at the units tab, MaxPax, he is slightly ahead in Phoenixes. He also has the defender's advantage. Forces back NightMare. Oh god! Oh, and NightMare, this is not the fight to take. He goes in a little bit haphazardly. And he's going to be losing everything. And just like that, every single Phoenix is going to be going down. And in a Phoenix mirror matchup like this is devastating. We have a couple back home. We don't have a shield battery. Oh my god, NightMare wasn't ready. Without shield batteries, we can't make up for the deficit. That's going to be game. He's going to lose every single thing back at home. He's going to be losing his probes as well. GG gets called, and MaxPax takes game number 2. Just like that, one small mistake and you're going to lose everything. Like, Phoenix versus Phoenix battles, like, the numbers matter so much. You have one more Phoenix than your opponent, then you're just going to snowball. And NightMare clearly didn't think that he was going to lose map control because he had nothing back at home to help defend. No shield batteries, no overcharge, which would have made up for that deficit. One bad fight. One bad fight is all it takes, and now we're getting into game 3. It could all end here and now. Jesus. Players just getting ready. Getting ready for game 3, potentially the final game of this series. MaxPax, of course, just has himself been on fire recently, taking down some big names. He took down Hero, he took down Bjorn, looking to take Hero's spot as the #1 Protoss in the world, and styling on NightMare so far. Jesus. Here we go. Game 3 is going to be taking place on Royal Blood, and I want to see the gate expand from MaxPax. I want to see it. Show it to us, Bobby. Show it to us. At spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the Danish Protoss player himself, the best Protoss in all of Europe, looking to become the best Protoss in the world, representing Psystorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. One game away from becoming this week's ESL Open Cup Americas champion. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss, representing Team Abydos, the dark horse himself. Down 0-2, he has to win every game moving forward if he wants to take this win, if he wants to take the crown. It is NightMare. Let's go. Vámonos, papi, vámonos. And this is what I was talking about. MaxPax, he is more than willing, even on maps where it isn't safe to do so, he's more than willing to go for the gate expands. And right now, he is egging his opponent on. He's like, mate, come at me. Try and punish me. Try it, NightMare. As NightMare goes for a much more standard 2-gate opening. And the problem is that even, like, again, MaxPax, he wants his opponent to all-in him. I'm brought back to OSC King of the Hill, where MaxPax, he won 15 games in a row. This was 2 weeks ago now, in OSC King of the Hill. And every single PvP, every single Protoss player that he played against tried to one-base all-in him. On maps like this, on maps like Royal Blood. And it just would not work. MaxPax, he defended against just proxy 4-gate, he defended against proxy Robos, proxy Stargates. Nothing would work. And we'll see if NightMare takes the bait. Does he want to do so? I think NightMare was one of the players that MaxPax actually beat that night. Now that I think about it, I think NightMare was one of the players that did try to one-base all in him. As NightMare is actually not going for a 2-gate opener. He's trying to go for his own gate expand. And MaxPax is going to block him. Wow. Let's go. Yeah, we have the Hearthstone 1 gate expand set up here from NightMare. Is he going to be forced to take the unnatural natural? No way! Not like this. The probe is going to be able to avoid the scouting probe of MaxPax. Show us the Nexus. There it is. The unnatural natural. This is going to be really awkward to defend. As you can imagine, there's no SimCity here protecting this mineral line. Whether it's Adepts, whether it's Oracles, NightMare can be abused. Meanwhile, he's going for a cyber block across the map. So, I mean, he's at least forcing MaxPax to delay his own Nexus, but he went for a faster Stargate instead. We have an Oracle on the way. I'm still worried here for NightMare. Oh, is he setting up a proxy pylon across the map? He's going for a Twilight Council. Is he going to be going for DTs? DTs could be on the horizon here. But there is going to be detection available for MaxPax. Alright, here we go. The Twilight Council has finished up. The pylon is done, and there is the proxy Dark Shrine. Meanwhile, the Oracle is about to dip into the main base. The shield battery isn't done yet. The Stalkers are out of position. Probes are falling left and right, and this is also a scout of the main. He's going to get eyes on the Twilight Council. He also sees it's not researching. That is a tell. He should be aware. There we go. A second Oracle is on the way. We will have access to Revelations. And MaxPax, he's going to dip back in, and he may even recheck the Twilight Council just in case. Moves out with his probe. Doesn't quite see anything yet. I love it, though. He's on patrol here. He's getting ready to wall off. We'll see how much damage this can get done. The second Oracle is coming out. It looks like it's meeting up with the first, so there actually won't be detection back at home. MaxPax may be misreading this, or maybe he's just that confident. Goes the double Oracle is looking to go into the main base. We do have two Stalkers here to defend. Both in the main and the natural. Every probe is going to be going down. At the same time, the DTs are rocking up. And oh, we have the whole position. No! We kind of have the whole position. Not quite. Only one DT makes it in. MaxPax slipping up a little bit there. And there's the first revelation. One DT is going to be going down, but the second DT does get into the main base. But again, it looks like MaxPax has what he needs to defend. Not enough energy. There we go. We have the revelation. Meanwhile, two more DTs are rocking up. They're breaking through the front door. Things are getting out of hand. Oh, never mind. Things were getting out of hand, but we have the third revelation, but we just keep warping in wave after wave of DTs. Do we have enough Oracles? Do we have enough energy to keep up? As the Stalkers are once again focusing down the shield batteries, and it looks like we may just have too much. Another revelation does cover the DT. But they just keep coming. MaxPax, though, he's able to clean them up, and economically, NightMare is still, his economy is still in shambles. Still lost so many probes across the map to those Oracles. And the DTs didn't do enough damage to really bring him back. He's gonna keep trying, though. Instead, we warp in a couple of Adepts. NightMare just trying to saturate his natural base. And thankfully, his Stalkers are back at home, so even though he doesn't have a shield battery, yeah, these Oracles shouldn't do too much. Gonna go in and rescout the main, confirm. Okay, we do have Blink on the way, additional gateways as well. Oh, no reaction! No! Oh, NightMare. Once again, just a little bit distracted. Massive stasis trap into the main base. Every single mineral mining probe gets caught. And from here, I think MaxPax, yeah, he's just going to be looking to take the 3-0. He blinks on forward, he focuses down all of these Stalkers who do have an overcharge, but the overcharge itself, the shield battery is going to be exposed. He doesn't even care, actually. He just focuses down the Stalkers anyway. He has enough DPS. Ooh. Barely able to take down another Stalker. Meanwhile, across the map, the DTs, not quite the DTs, the Adepts have returned. They shade in, but they don't commit to the natural. Oracle comes back in. No, this time, can we react? We do. Oh my god. Only 3 probes get caught this time. Only 3. Ugh. But the Stalker army is just a little bit too great. We can maybe use a couple of DTs defensively, but we have Oracles, we have Revelations available. The Adepts across the map are being cleaned up, and MaxPax just has an overwhelming force of Stalkers here. The boys are being pulled, but even that's not going to be enough. MaxPax running away with his finals. PvP, his speciality. He took down Hero earlier on in the tournament. The reinforcements are flooding across the map. And even though NightMare looks good against Creator, unfortunately, he's just unable to get any momentum whatsoever against MaxPax. Again, the way that MaxPax played this out, forcing the awkward expansion, the awkward bases, scouting the DTs. And there we go, Revelation as well, just in case. Once again, the boys being pulled into Oracles. Everything's going to be going down. And in a quick series, GG gets called. MaxPax is going to be this week's ESL Open Cup Americas champion. Oh, GG. Oh my god. Well played here. Well played. Congratulations, MaxPax. From the land of Denmark, from the land of Europe, is able to be our champion this week, staying up into the degen hours of the night. Let's double check here. What time is it in Denmark? Almost 5 a.m. 4:47 a.m. in the morning. Jesus Christ. MaxPax again. The passion is real for him to stay up so late. But yeah, GG, very well played here to MaxPax. Well deserved, well worth staying up, to be honest, and ruining our sleep schedule. I say ruining, this is his sleep schedule, you know. MaxPax is one of the few Europeans that does consistently stay up and play in the online Americas weeklies. You love to see it. You love to see it. Congratulations. And shout out to NightMare as well. Even though he did struggle quite a bit here in the finals, he did a great job making it this far. Unfortunately, we weren't able to cast some of his other series. We only saw him against Creator. But taking down Solar and Creator was no easy feat. So really impressive stuff here from NightMare. Really showing that, again, you know, like if the opportunity presents himself, like he can punch up, he can take down some of these big names. He's not favored, but you know, he has these moments of brilliance, and hopefully he can become a little bit more consistent. Hopefully, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. GG, well played. And with that marks the end of the tournament here. Yeah, I was gonna say a little bit of a shorter broadcast, but no, still 4 hours. It kind of just blazed by. I don't really know how. I don't really know how that happened. It got by me, Poppy. It got by me. But GG, very well played. Well played. And yeah, with that, that's gonna be it for us for this morning. I say for this morning because we do have another broadcast in the evening. We had a catch-up replay cast yesterday with ESL Americas and with KSL. Tonight we're gonna be live once again with ESL Open Cup Asia. I believe I'll be joined by Yaku. of the Zaku. So ESL Open Cup Asia is going to be on the horizon in 5 hours. 5 hours from now. Oh boy. I may nap. I don't know. We have things to do. Tempted to maybe have a bit of a nap here before the next broadcast, or maybe just work on some VODs, work on some replays. Yeah, very little time to kind of prepare for the next broadcast. But, you know, it's how this week is going to go. We just have to try and cast as much as we can, as often as we can, to make up for last week, to make up for it. Well, we're getting there. We're getting there. So, yeah, shout out to not just the people in the chat for watching, but also to some of the other casters, Pig, Steadfast, and Renegade X Studios casting in English. Shout out to Maddox casting in Korean, and Rocklets casting in Portuguese and Brazilian. So thank you so much to all the other casters for covering this and for covering some of the other games that we missed. I think the big one is MaxPax versus Beyond and MaxPax versus Hero. I believe they were covering those series, so if you want to tune into those VODs, I'm sure they're available there. Speaking of VODs, !YouTube in the chat. We do upload on a daily basis over on our YouTube channel, so if you're interested in tuning in, if you enjoy our casting, and if you want a little bit more, YouTube is the place to be, especially if you can't tune in live. Meanwhile, if you want to be notified for when we go live, !socials in the chat. We've got Twitter, we've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, we have a Discord server, we have a Patreon as well, so you can follow us for when we go live. Again, as a reminder, 5 hours until our next broadcast. Doesn't stop. It doesn't stop, Papi. It doesn't stop. When it comes to Patreon, if you want to support us, if you want to support our endeavors in the tournaments that we host, like Sparkling Tuna Cup, Grand Platypus Open, and the Tenacious Turtle Tussle, you can support us on Patreon. You can see there we've got some lovely patrons that do support us, of course, but we're still a ways off from our goal. That is the goal, to fully fund those events, and then the next goal will be to make them from bi-weeklies into weeklies. That would be the ideal scenario, to have like more consistent weekly events. We're not there yet, but maybe one day. Maybe one day we can get there. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Till then, oh god, that took a lot out of me. I did not sleep enough. Oh god, I'm still so tired. I woke up at I woke up before my alarm. My alarm is at 7 AM and I woke up at 6:30 in the morning. The tournament starts at 9 AM for those wondering. I just wanted some time to like have a shower and get some breakfast and get some food and prepare myself, and I was not prepared. I was not prepared for the PvPs that befell us. But yeah, with that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. We appreciate it. Stick around. We're going to be giving another lovely streamer a bit of a raid. Not too sure who, but there are plenty out there. We may give some love to Dave Testa. You know, I feel a little bit bad. We've been casting some Dave recently, and if you were there last night, I think I may veto casting Dave's replays. I don't think it's fair to him. I think Sando's a bully. He's been requesting us to cast his replays, but like, I don't know. I feel like when it comes to the viewer replay cast, it's more about like showing off something really cool that like a viewer has done or something that they're proud of, and we want to like accentuate that. I feel like whenever we cast Dave, we just smudge and we cry a little bit, and you know, it's I'm not gonna say it's mean, but like it's just clown fiestas, you know. And it's fun. It's fun. But I don't want to rail on Dave too much, so yeah, we may just put a bit of a hold on any future Dave casts. I'll let Sounder know that we're gonna stop for a while. You know, we're friends. You know, and I don't want I don't want anything to go on there. So there you go. Again, the VODs are up of last night as well. They are up. Yeah, that was a long night. We were casting until like 1 AM. It was wild. It was too much. I think it was too much. But yeah, with that, I believe we are going to be done here for the morning at least. So thank you so much everyone for watching. Thank you so much for the support. Really appreciate it. If you want to tune into some of my solo content, I do stream. I usually stream throughout the week, but this week specifically, I'm going to be focusing on the CranKy Ducklings just because we got a lot of catching up to do. We still have to do the replay cast of ESL Asia tonight. We have to do the replay cast of TTT, the Tenacious Turtle Tussle as well, which is an NA-based tournament. And I'm also tempted to do the replay cast of GSL. I don't know if I will because I'm getting a little bit fatigued. Like it's getting to me a little bit, like all these casts. So if I'm feeling up to it, we'll cast some GSL. Otherwise, we may leave it until next week. We may put it on hold. We'll see. Keep an eye out on our Discord. We'll announce. Until then, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for the support, and we will see you guys in 5 hours for some ESL Open Cup Asia. Bye.